What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live, Geeks and Gamers Daily on a Thursday. And I'm here with Jay, Drunk 3PO, the Transformers channel. Is it still called Drunk 3PO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't gotten around to a name change yet.
What are you thinking about for it?
I don't know.
Drunk Megatron?
It's Drunk Starscream.
Drunk Starscream?
Yeah.
It might play well.
We'll see how it goes. I'm having a good time. It is.
How you doing, Jay? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good.
You weren't on Mario Kart last night.
Neither were you? Did you play?
No.
Yeah.
I'm every other week guy, I think, you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, not really my game.
I just roll in there against those guys who like all play together and all stream like 3 or 4 days a week. Roll in there once every other week, bend them over, butt fuck them, and go home for a while. You know, that's it's kind of the standard, I think.
I kind of took like yesterday. I kind of had like a nice kind of day off. I'm getting ready to go to Toronto tomorrow. I leave for Toronto tomorrow night, and
Canada.
Yeah, gonna enjoy that weekend of festivities.
You just sing the Canadian national anthem while you're there?
All I know is the first two words. Oh, Canada. That's it. Everything else, I don't know what they say.
Our home and native land.
Is it? Oh.
True patriot love that all thy sons command.
I don't know anything about
With glowing hearts, we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. Yeah, you don't know that one? Oh, Canada, to be honest, obviously, the United States national anthem is the best around. Like, no denying. It's the best. Everybody else fucking tier down, tier lower. But I do think my second favorite national anthem in the world, even though the country's gay, is Canada's.
Oh,
I like
really?
Canada. It's a good one.
Oh, maybe I'll hear it on my way to the airport. I don't know.
They did change. I feel like they officially changed the lyrics of Oh Canada a couple years ago because it was all thy sons command. And they were like, well, that's too gender specific. So I do think they changed to something else, but I ain't never gonna fucking say that one.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Like, all I know is last time I went to the Toronto airport for the Toronto Comic-Con with Gina, I got in there. This is very weird. So I got in there. You got to go through customs. Now, stupid me, of course, I'm looking for the sign that says Americans this way. I'm not in America. Why would they have a sign that says that? So I ended up bumbling and stumbling into some line that I thought was for the Americans. I don't know why. The majority of people were white in line, so I figured that's my line. So I went there and I stood in line. And when I finally got up to the lady to take me to like a machine where you're supposed to run your passport, she says, "You're in the wrong line, sir. You're supposed to be over there in like the immigrant line or something like that." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know where to go." And she was like, "Just go." So she waved me through. So I walk through, and then you like once you're done with the machine, I didn't even do the machine. Once you do the machine, you're supposed to get into another line where I guess a guy like looks at it and asks you all these questions and all that stuff. I get up to that line and stand there, and that guy was like, "Did that lady send you here?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, okay, you can go." I went to my luggage. So now I'm there scared that they think I'm like in there illegally because I didn't know what to do. I'm asking questions, and they're all just looking at me like, "You're fine, sir. Like, just go get your luggage." And when I left the country, I pulled up. I was ready with a speech saying, "Hey, look, I was here. I think I got in the wrong line. I don't know. They didn't scan anything." And I went to the Toronto airport. They looked at the passport and they just let me through. Nobody said anything.
Maybe they're still looking for you. Maybe they think you've like overstayed, whatever. Like this guy's been in this country for 2 years now and we don't have any registration of him leaving. Like, what is going on? There's a manhunt right now for you in
So
Canada.
maybe when I go back and I finally scan the passport, some alarm's gonna go off.
The Canadian Mounties are gonna roll up on you.
Lord, wouldn't that be a story to tell? But yeah, it was very odd.
Right's gonna put you down on the ground and arrest you.
A Mountie, he's gonna show up.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out. If you guys never see me again, you know why. I'll call you, Ryan. If I'm in jail, I'm gonna call you first to come get me out of Canada. I figured you'd be the right man to call.
You can call. Better hope I pick up. My voicemail box is full right now. So, bro, my voicemail box is full. My voicemail is full. And for some reason, I don't know if I forgot the pin. I can't get into it. Like, so it's just full. And I probably got to call Verizon and have them reset it or some shit. I can't get into it. So anybody that called me and left a message, it's been months. So whatever. I hope you're not hoping for a call back.
I don't even check I don't even know what my voicemail is. So I have it like muted.
Well, that's just disrespectful. I'm not going to call you if I'm in jail.
Well, I usually pick up when you call.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you can count on me.
That's true. I'm not calling you. I have a friend who I would call if I was in jail. I don't know if Jay would be the right person. He'd be like, "You want me to call Jeremy?"
Probably true. I'd probably like, "Jeremy, I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
Ryan's in jail.
I called Jeremy for bail money. Yeah.
That's true. He'd be like, "I got a live stream real quick. Let's make the bail money." 8 hours later.
Exactly. Jail in Canada can't be that bad.
I don't think so.
Feels like they'd probably be nicer than like just living a normal life. They'll probably do everything for you, get you what you want to eat.
I'll get a medical checkup while I'm there.
They'd be like way too polite, so there probably wouldn't even be any rape in prison. You know, they'd ask for your consent first. Chris Coran for 2. I need a top tier Ryan rant today, please.
Really?
I don't know. You never know what you're gonna get. It just depends day to day, week to week. I had a weird day yesterday. So I fucking Wednesday, my day off from daily is when I decided, because I had some issues with my car, not anything major, but just I needed to take it in. I had some issues with my car earlier in the week, so take it in. Fucking 9 o'clock appointment. Get there, boom. They give me, I catch a ride back to my house. I'm just gonna chill, make some videos, do whatever. But then it just takes forever for them to get that shit done. I was supposed to have something scheduled and a video recording I was supposed to do. That got fucking canceled. So that threw my plans off. So I'm like, well, I guess I can go to the gym then at this time I was planning, which I'd push back anyway. So I get to the gym and they're like, hey, your car's going to be ready in an hour. And I'm done at the gym. So I'm thinking, am I going to fucking call an Uber to get a 10-minute ride back to my house and then sit there for a while? Am I going to hang out here for another 50? I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk like our ancestors used to, Jay. You know, when our ancestors had to actually walk somewhere to go get their car in a garage. That's what I decided. I'm like, you know what? It's 3 miles. No big deal. So I decided to walk it. And it was fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that much of a walk. I mean,
what were you doing? About 7 miles per, roughly? Because you were moseying, it wasn't like you were doing a full sprint.
Wait, 7 miles per hour?
Yeah, like 7 miles. No. 7 minutes per mile. Sorry, I got a little brain fart there.
7 minutes per mile would be very fast, Jay.
You're fast. Listen, You're a fast walker, man. When we go to the parks, you're gone, dude. I'm park walking speed. And you are like, and then you got to stop. You turn around and you give me that look like freaking catch up, man. We got stuff to do. So I'm just saying, you walk very fast. You walk very fast.
Bro, a 7-minute mile would probably be somewhere around, I don't know. You're talking about like you're talking fucking fast, Jay. That's like 8 mile an hour.
Okay, you know why I said 7? Because if I said 20,
I guess it's like 7 mile. If I go 7 miles in a fucking hour, it's a 7-minute per hour pace, that's running. Like that is a run, Jay. That is not a walk.
Okay. All right.
Have you ever been on a treadmill?
I was on a treadmill with you.
Yeah, but put that thing up to 7, and that is like, to me, 7 miles per hour. If that's that's a good
jog.
We
were at the gym together. Right? We were on the treadmill together.
You can't walk at 7 miles an hour. That's insane. If you've ever been on a treadmill,
the reason why I said 7 is because I didn't want to like make it too low, and then you're gonna like get mad at me for thinking that you're slow. So like I kind of like upped the game a little bit, but obviously it had the reverse effect.
Yeah. Anyway,
20 minute,
that's not even
20
the point
minute
of the
mile
story.
now. Are we talking 20 minute?
I was probably going about 3.5 miles an hour, right? That was probably my walking speed, right? It's probably what I was going at. The problem was it started fucking raining because of course it did. So I'm sitting there, I'm walking like next to the highway, 3 mile thing I'm doing, and it's just pouring rain on me. And I'm thinking, this is so fucking stupid. I did all this to avoid paying like a $10 or $15 Uber ride. And so it was not a good decision for me. Got soaking wet, but my car's good now, so there's that.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I still think you could pull off 7-minute mile.
Well, I certainly can running.
Yeah.
That's easy. I think the fastest, like, one time I ran a 5K in, 20 minutes or something. That would probably be probably a just over 6-minute mile pace, something like that. That was when I was running a lot, though. But that's pretty quick.
No, that's pretty good. I did a 5K once. I just moseyed it, man. They let you walk it. This was nice. I don't know how long it took me. It took me a good minute, but at least I did it. I never signed up again.
There you go.
Then sign up again.
Everyone's doing the math in the chat.
I don't have the chat up because I'm sure I'm getting roasted.
Vapor Sola says 1 mile per 7 minutes. Is that what you were saying? That I was going 7 minutes? Like it would take me 7 minutes to do 1 mile? Is that what you were saying?
That's not what I was trying to say. Oh, yeah. Well, something like that, but yeah. Because a 7-minute mile brisk walk. That's what I was saying. So
yeah, that's a jog, Jay.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, you go next time you're in the gym, even if you're not doing cardio that day, whatever, go to the treadmill.
Set it up.
Put that thing on 7.
All right.
And see how long you can walk it.
I'm probably gonna fall and break my shoulder. Yeah.
Like 4 miles, like 4 miles an hour on a treadmill is booking it walking. Like that is a really fast walk.
Some people were built for running. Some people it's just not who they are. We're like turtles, man. Like you just gotta stay in your lane. As long as I stay in my lane, I'm good to go.
That's true.
So
Chris Coran for 2. I said that one. Super RK3PO, Meta PC code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO, says Alex. Yeah, we're going to talk a little Superman. Obviously, I know Jeremy did his big review here, I guess, yesterday. I posted a review on my channel. We will talk about Superman. I also want to talk about where it stands right now, what some of the opening days that we have in other countries, what it's looking like here, what that means at the box office. I will attempt to stay mostly spoiler-free for it because obviously people haven't really had an opportunity to watch it. And I'm sure a lot of people here have no desire to, but I'm sure there's also people here that do have a desire to. So I will try to not spoil it for people. My bottom line up front is I didn't like it. I don't hate it as much as Jeremy does, I suppose. I'm shocked that he hates it as much as he does, but I don't like it. It's somewhere in that 4, maybe 4.5 out of 10 range for me, like somewhere
Really?
around there. I don't like it. No. It's too crowded. It is too goofy, for lack of a better word. Moments where you do get something good, or you could be on the precipice of something good from like an emotional or character standpoint, it's immediately undercut by comedy in typical James Gunn fashion. There's too much going on. It feels like a movie that there was 20 more minutes of.
Oh, wow.
And instead of deciding, okay, let's cut a couple of these plot lines out of the movie to crunch this time down, they were like, you know what? Let's just cut a little bit of every single plot line and smash this thing together. And it results in what I think is like a huge pacing problem. It's super chaotic and it's just too crowded the entire time. And nobody really respects Superman. Not even his fucking dog.
Wow, that sucks.
Not even his dog. Hero of Canton for 2. Tell the trailer park stock boy the intro sucks. Is that Jeremy? Wait till I tell you the mind behind that intro. Joe Music for 5. Ryan, do you think they can course correct Superman if it gets a sequel? And what do you think the tone will be for DC movies going forward? The tone for I hope that it is for most of the DC movies that come out after this, James Gunn's not writing and directing or whatever, that he hires people to make it their way. If we have an entire DC universe that just feels like this, it is not going to be a good thing. I don't think it is not going to be a good thing.
Is it more Marvel-y is what you're saying? Like, it's like, this kind of fits in the Marvel realm. Because I always thought DC was like dark. Like, it needs to be a darker tone. Marvel's a little more goofy.
Sometimes I don't know if darker necessarily is the right word, but sometimes a little bit more serious, you know?
Yeah, okay.
In a way. That's kind of how I've always felt. And certainly you're going to have outliers. You're going to have different stories over decades and decades and decades of shit, right? You're going to have different writers that come on that have a new take on the character, everything like that. But yeah, in general, it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for an even younger audience.
Oh, wow.
That's what it feels like in a way. Why I say Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is because I really like Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think they went too heavy into some of the things that people really loved about the first one. And I think that movie really suffers from, more so than the first one, when you do have these moments that could be emotional moments, they're so often immediately undercut by jokes. And I don't think it was very funny. There was a lot of humor in it, and I don't think most of it hit. I was shocked in my theater. And one thing you got to remember for these Superman Prime early preview things, these are people who are the most excited to see this movie, with the exception of people like me who's watching it early so I can talk about it and review it or whatever. With those exceptions, the people that are going to the Amazon Prime early fan screenings, those are the people that are the most hyped. Those are the people that are the most excited. So oftentimes you have packed theaters with people that are fucking going crazy for it. And that's how you get things when you come out of, I don't know, say the Flash movie early screening, where you hear, wow, people say it's the best superhero movie of all time. It's incredible. It's amazing. Those are the reactions from the Flash early screenings.
Yeah.
So that's that kind of the audience you can expect for that. My theater felt a little underwhelming in terms of the response from people. Not many laughs, one cheer when Crypto does something in the movie, and a smattering of applause at the end, but definitely not the hype level I was expecting from half the crowd dressed up in Superman shit.
Wow.
You know?
Shocking.
Yeah. We are going to have a great time. Jay, bring Ryan.
I could never get Ryan to Canada. I don't think I could make that possible.
You could do it in you could do it in the right circumstance or the right situation, I ain't gonna come up there just to like hang out for something. But
Yeah.
I don't even. My passport's not even. I need to renew my passport. I've had to for a while now, so couldn't get me there if you wanted to.
Well, the way I went through, they didn't care.
Yeah, it's true. I just got to get that guy. Chris Curran for 2. Jay is deemed as a non-threat.
Maybe. Like, just let this retard walk through.
Benology for $5 makes an appearance. Says Superman equals good. Understand some of the hate, though. Good to see you, lads. Might need to have a Superman roundtable. My feelings are I'm going to be talked out of Superman by like the end of this week after FNT.
Yeah,
that's kind of my feelings on it.
Yeah.
Look, what we said and what we heard from people about this movie before we saw it, and I think also based on some of the marketing, it feels like it was going to be a very divisive movie. Like there are going to be people out there that absolutely fucking love it, and there are going to be some people that despise it. I think I am going to find myself in the minority of I didn't really like it. I think it's a slightly below average movie, like just as a whole. And it just didn't do it for me. But I don't despise the entire thing, I suppose. Go ahead.
But I mean, the thing is, this is supposed to set the tone for the James Gunn universe. So if this is what to expect on movies moving forward, and then the certain amount of people that probably don't like this movie are not going to enjoy this whole universe that they're planning.
There's a higher bar for this.
Right.
There's a much higher bar for this because of the character, because it's the first movie in your rebooted universe, because of all this stuff.
Yes.
If a movie like this comes out, to be honest, it's kind of fucking similar to like a Shazam movie. Not even gonna lie, that's kind of how it feels. It feels like a Shazam movie in ways, and that's fine to throw in there to have something else within your diet for all these different movies. It's fine to have a random Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 when you have like a bunch of other movies out there. This is a very important movie, and it does not meet the threshold for what this movie should have been. But let's talk about how it's looking at the box office now, Jay, because look, I can be very underwhelmed by actually, I think in my review I said, look, I wasn't overwhelmed, I wasn't underwhelmed, I was whelmed, because it's kind of what I expected when I went into the movie. If I had to give it a score out of 10, it'd probably be in the 4, maybe 4.5, but probably 4 range. And that is not good enough.
That's below mid. Woo.
I think mid can look. I don't think that mid has to just be just 5 out of 10. It is on the low scale for mid. Shouldn't we consider mid 4 to 6?
Yeah, maybe. I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Something like that. But let's see how what's the excitement level for Superman? How is this massive marketing push? All of the stuff they've done to get PR and good glowing reviews with the influencers going there to the premiere, like all that shit. How does it look for Superman and what we can expect at the box office? And here are some of the first official big projections for this, going into the opening weekend. Superman, the first movie in James Gunn and Peter Safran's revamped DC universe to fly around the world to at least $200 million plus.
Ooh.
They better hope it is big, big, big on the plus side of that. Because if this movie opens on the low end of it, if it opens to 200 million, 205 million, they are in for a fucking world of hurt. Even 250 million, you have reason to be concerned because you'd need a super great hold, with some competition coming up and things like that. They better hope it's on the high end of their 200 million plus thing that they're talking about here. Superman, the first movie in Peter Safran and James Gunn's revamped DC Studios Phase 1 labeled Gods and Monsters is opening this weekend. Talk about pressure. There's a lot riding on this movie as it tees up the tone and grand plans the duo have assembled since Warner Brothers Discovery. I have this on the... Hold on. I need to move my shit because I have it... I'm reading it on the screen instead of reading it on the real screen.
Oh, okay.
From the main aorta, Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, a la the setup of Marvel and Disney. Even more amazing and audacious here, Gunn bet on himself. What a weird way to do this. But anyway, after a rapturous premiere in Hollywood and reviews morning at 85% certified fresh, hopefully there's no reason for anyone on the Burbank lot to sweat.
What?
Studio sources tell us Superman will see at least a $200 million global start, split evenly between domestic and overseas. So they're thinking about 100 million domestic, 100 million overseas. If those numbers end up being true, they should be fucking panicking right now. Because you know what had around a $200 million debut with similar numbers like that?
Captain America, baby. Brave New World. Look at that. Smashes box office. Bro, if Superman does as bad as Captain America, sorry, that is, oh my God. That is going to be awful. Well, at least our prediction of dinosaurs ruling July is holding firm, man. It's holding firm. Scarlett Johansson is going to take on Superman and the Fantastic Four and kick their butts. Unbelievable. Yeah, sorry about that.
Girl boss Scarlett Johansson. And I personally think that this is low. And I think maybe intentionally so. I personally think that the number is going to be closer to that $120, $130 million domestic. But the international one might be spot on with 100 million. Even that should be incredibly fucking concerning for this movie. If you open, I don't know, 20% higher, 30% higher or something than Captain America Brave New World, that is a movie that ended with $400 million at the box office. Okay? This needs to do much better than that. Much better than that. And when you start to look, here are some other updates and projections. This is from Box Office Pro. They're predicting 115 to 135 million. I do think that's going to be closer to the realm of where this thing ends. But we're talking about something. If it does open in that range, it's not going to beat Man of Steel's opening weekend from 12 years ago, not adjusted for inflation.
Wow. I wonder what Henry Cavill's feeling right now.
And when you look around, right, when you look around internationally, because everything's open on Wednesday there, you get some data a day early because of the time difference and stuff like that. Right now, they are tracking for around 100 million internationally. It's overperforming in like South America and places like that, but it's underperforming in places like Asia and in some places in Europe. Just look at through some of these in the comparisons. Superman also kicked off its rollout in Europe. In Italy, the film starring David Corenswet opened, grossing a modest $515,000 on Wednesday opening day. Versus Captain America 4, $531,000, and Thunderbolts $639,000.
Oh my goodness.
It's tracking behind Captain America and Thunderbolts in Italy. It's beating The Flash and Black Adam, but it's significantly below Joker 2 and The Batman. France right here. Let's see how it's doing in France. Superman debuts taking the number one away from Jurassic World Rebirth. $1.2 million on opening day. And this is compared to Minecraft movie, Jurassic World Rebirth, Final Reckoning, Lilo and Stitch, obviously outperformed it. Now, here are its comparisons to, say, The Flash. Doing about 50% better than The Flash, on par with Joker, but about half as much as The Batman. What about over in China? It's been very slow in China so far. They're opening up some more theaters. We'll see how it performs in China overall. But in Korea, we do have some opening numbers as well. 691,000, right on par with Thunderbolts opening and under Man of Steel's 1 million. Even so, it's the third biggest DC opening day for DC post-COVID. And here are the numbers and comparisons for that. It's basically right on par with The Flash, a little bit above Black Adam, but trailing significantly behind Joker, and The Batman almost made 3 times as much as it on its opening day. So these are the things that we're looking at here. It needs to catch fire. It needs to catch fire.
What are these people going to say? These people that are tweeting, "We won, Superman, we won. It's the greatest thing ever." And it makes as much as Black Captain America. I'll tell you what they're going to say. They're going to blame Donald Trump. That's my suggestion. Superman's an American icon, and right now people are upset with America all around the world, so they don't want to see that. And it's probably the president's fault for doing so. That could be the reasoning why there was some weird political messaging maybe talked about. Not that it's in the film at all.
It's just not saying, really in the movie at all, to be honest.
According to people are saying it's not woke, but it's a disappointment. That's what Gary said. I know Yellow Flash is in the chat. He said that he loved the film. Film Threat was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not good kind of thing. But everybody had the same line. No woke stuff in the film whatsoever. But they'll figure out someone to blame. I just can't believe that people would choose to see Captain America over Superman if those numbers stay true. That's crazy, man. I couldn't even imagine that. Even if it was Chris Evans or wherever, it's like it's crazy to me that people would choose a Captain America film over Superman if those numbers stay. Numbers stay.
And we'll see. There's a long weekend to go. Thursday, big day, obviously, that they're looking for in the weekend. I will say this. I said during my review, I think that families are going to enjoy this film. And maybe that could result in more walk-up business than we typically see for some of these movies, with a lot of people pre-ordering their stuff. Like, maybe, right? We do see that from family movies like Minecraft, Lilo and such, whatever it might be. You typically have a slightly more walk-up business than these big superhero tent poles. But I'm telling you right now, dude, I believe it's going to open to 120, 130 here, and maybe that $100 million internationally. Even if that, like a $220 million opening, they should be panicking. There's a reason James Gunn came out a couple days ago and was like, people saying it needs to make $700 million to be successful. That's just ridiculous.
That's cope.
They were setting the stage because they know these internal tracking numbers. They know this shit, right? They were setting the stage to have to make excuses. You wouldn't be saying something like that if you felt confident that this was going to be an $800 or $900 million or $1 billion movie. You say that when you think it's going to underperform to lower people's expectations and to have this thing to play off of. If it doesn't surge over this weekend, if there's not a huge surge that we see from good word of mouth or whatever, they should be in panic mode. Like, because holy fuck.
Yeah, it might adjust their whole James Gunn universe, Or these people that love to sniff their own farts in Hollywood will be like, we won. Let's just keep the ball rolling. Let's just keep it rolling, everybody. Let's just keep it rolling. Who knows?
Yeah, and for perspective, Jurassic World Rebirth opened to $320 million globally. A good movie to also keep an eye on would be something like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did not have a overly impressive domestic opening weekend, if you remember. Made like $118 million, but it did incredibly well internationally, right? $289 million globally, almost a $300 million global opening weekend for Guardians of the Galaxy. That had very good word of mouth and had great holds, and I think ended up at $850 million at the box office. But this is one of the reasons those international numbers are very important to these superhero movies. And certainly, James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If you have a $118 million opening for Superman, I think it's going to be very, very low and very disappointing for them. It has a possibility to have a good hold. I don't think you'll see the same exact thing. And you've got Fantastic Four coming in 2 weeks as well. So it's going to have 2 weeks, kind of on its own without anything big. But after that, I feel like Fantastic Four is going to significantly eat into it. And maybe still some people hanging around watching Jurassic World Rebirth during this time too.
That's true. Interesting. Well, speaking of flying, Ryan, something happened over in the theme parks this week that's a little off topic, but I find it kind of humorous.
It was a good transition, Jay.
Apparently, a Disney guest illegally flies a drone over Epcot Lagoon. I have no idea how this guy got a drone into the park. Listen, if I carry an umbrella in my bag, I get stopped and they search your bag to make sure you don't have anything weird in your bag. I have no idea how in this world this man got a drone in and started flying it around. I don't know why he started flying it around. If you don't know what Epcot is a separate theme park connected to Disney. And that's where people go to drink. There's really nothing else to do there. There's the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, I guess. But other than that, the other rides there, if you load up on liquor, which is what they sell everywhere, they got Chinese liquor, Japan liquor, Mexican tequila bars. They got all kinds of stuff there. Then you go ride Living in the Land, which is just a boat ride where you look at lettuce. It makes it a little more enjoyable, you know? But apparently this guy decides that he's just going to stop. He's bored and he wants to fly a drone. And we have video footage that was just released of this person just deciding to just fly a drone. Turn the music down because this could be copyright. But yeah, he flies it over the lagoon, number one, where there's like children. And then he brings it back. And then you can clearly see an undercover security guy. Like, I don't know what he's doing. He's just like,
is that black guy there? That's
yeah, it's him. He's just going up and down with it. You can here's the security guard. Like he walks up to him now. He's like, you gotta take that thing down, like get that thing down. But I don't know why he's not bringing it down. Yeah, I guess he's telling him, he's like, it's gotta do something first. I'm not sure. Now the report is that he had to put it away and he walked away with security. But no one knows what happened to him, if he was removed or anything like that. In this article here, it doesn't say anything that happened to him. They just basically said what I said, that a guy snuck in a drone. Don't know how they snuck a drone in, and he just started flying it. And a plainclothes officer asked him to leave, and nobody knows. But this goes over how you need to have a special permit to fly a drone. There's a big no-fly zone over Disney, as you can see here. And you're not allowed to fly drones. Even if you're like parked on the outskirts or anything like that, you can't do any of those things. It is illegal. Fly a plane, whatever, unless you have special permission from the TSA or from Walt Disney World Company. So I guess we'll keep an eye on this story to see if he was arrested or if he was just asked to leave or they confiscated the drone. I don't know what would possess him to just start flying a drone in Epcot, but
I mean, you could probably get you could probably get some really cool footage, right? If you were able to get a drone in there and like, you know, circle it as going around the lagoon, all the different places. It would probably be pretty cool footage, I suppose. But obviously you can't do that. I do wonder how he got it in. Like, I have not been through Disney security, so I don't really know what that is. I have been through the Disney Springs security. Is that basically like the security they have for Disney World? Or is it more...
The theme parks are a little bit worse. It's like TSA, except you don't have to take off your shoes. So if you have a bag, so like if you have a phone,
same way getting through Universal, metal detectors, bag X-ray machine.
So if you have a phone or an umbrella, they ask you to take it out of your bag and hold it so they could see it. But if you don't, like if you got a battery, you know, a battery pack to charge your phone, it'll set it off. And usually if you have a bag, it'll go off and you got to walk over to the side, and they have one of those pokers where you open your bag and they look at everything. So that's why I'm like, it's impressive. Number one, how he got in there. So the only thing I could think of, is if he's there and it's not shown, if he's there and he has like a stroller or something like that, and it was just kind of tucked away under the kid's stroller, you know, and maybe baby mama or something took it, like took the kid somewhere, and he's like, well, I'm just going to fly the drone while you guys go have fun. That's the only way I could think of, is that it might have got through like under a stroller or something. But other than that, if he had it in his bag, either security dropped a major ball there, or he was able to get it, just get it through somehow. But I'm not sure what happened to him. Like, we'll see what happens. But of all places, though, Epcot, it just boggles my mind, you know?
Tune in next week for the update on the arrest warrant out for Drone Tyrone.
I don't know. Maybe he was looking for something. I don't know.
Maybe he stole one of the drones that they use for like the because they do drone shows there, yeah.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Only at Disney Springs.
well, shit. I have no fucking idea. Then
I
there goes
don't
my.
either. That's why it's so confusing. It's like, what? Why of all places? Man, look at this banger right here. 100. Holy crap.
Logan Johnson for $100. Bit off topic, but took a trip to Bend or Tuesday for a concert and got a chance to see the last Blockbuster and felt like a kid again. Tremors was playing on TV. A lot of signed merch. Even a friend got a membership there. Not surprised Superman wasn't good. Shaking my head. It is a bit off topic, but thank you, Logan, for the $100 super chat. Bend, Oregon on Tuesday. Well, that's very, very cool, man. I haven't been to a concert in a long ass time. The last Blockbuster. I used to love Blockbuster, especially when they had all the shit on sale, you know? Like after movies have been out for like 6 months or whatever, when they had them stocked up, they're like, "Oh, we need to decrease our stock of this shit," and they'd put them on sale for like $3, $4, $5. I had so many old Blockbuster movies that I bought. They had the candy, the popcorn as you're walking through, video game rentals, all that good
I like
shit.
that it had like the movie style candy too, which I thought was kind of neat. And then they sold like a pack, the Blockbuster popcorn candy pack. I thought that was awesome too. Guess you could just make it yourself now.
You'd rent out an N64 and some controllers and some games for a weekend or something. If a kid wanted to have a bunch of people over for a birthday party and they only had one N64, you could go and rent another one. All that shit.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Simpler times, man. Simpler times when that was the hardest decision you had to make.
Colorado kid, breaking news. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Oh, what? We're still talking about him? Why are people still talking about him? I can't believe people are still bringing this up. Holy shit. What a fucking disaster.
Oh, horrible.
Embarrassing. The smart review for 5. I'm watching Superman today, and I can't wait to destroy this film. Everything sounds stupid and insane. All men in the film Gunn could piss off. And insane. All men in the film Gunn could piss off. Cole Hauser for 2. Jay's going to experience Cole Hauser's training class.
Yeah, he's taking me to the gym one of the days. Probably going to die. Get me on the treadmill. That's 7 minutes mile.
Yes, go on the treadmill, please. Like that is my normal. Like if I hop on the treadmill and do a jog, 7 miles is usually like 7 miles per hour is usually where I start at for like a decent little jog on the treadmill. So yeah, you can't walk that shit. Yeah. The King's Court for 10. A federal judge just ruled that all could be affected by Trump's birthright citizenship executive order are allowed to sue as a class, getting around SCOTUS's recent decision against nationwide injunctions. That's crazy. If you want to keep updated on all the wild and wacky courtroom drama, whether it's political or maybe celebrity at some time, stuff like that, check out The King's Court.
He's doing great work.
Shout out King's Advisors. Jimmy Touchdown for 20. Superman is the movie for you. If you want to see Superman get his ass beat, kicked in the balls, his lore destroyed, constantly saved by others, Lois, Mr. Terrific, Crypto 3 times, have low IQ and get cucked by Mr. Terrific. Well, the cuck part, I don't know, but all of the rest of it, 100%. Superman is constantly needing help to get saved.
Oh, no.
What they did to Jor-El and Superman's birth parents is fucking wild, bro.
Really?
It's wild. And I thought when they set that up, when they had this plot point in there, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but when they set up the Jor-El plot point in there, I was convinced that it was going to be some scheme by Lex, that it was fake, that it was forged, something like that. And even though they said, no, it's been authenticated, no, it's real, no, it's actually real, even Lex talks about it's real, I thought for sure it was just going to be some fucking swap at the end. But Because what it does is it's like, well, my parents aren't who they thought they were. And it creates a crisis within Clark. And he really is questioning everything about himself and blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
no.
And I was convinced that at the end of the movie, they're going to reveal, no, that's not real. That's not what they actually said, Clark. Your parents are who you thought they were, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't. They just, that's who Jor-El apparently was. That's the thing.
So
that
he's going to have daddy issues? First,
I think he's over it now.
His American dad dies. We all know that story. That's just part of the story.
Yeah, but he's alive still in this. He's still alive for now. His parents are kind of fucking retarded. Like they are shown as like really dumb hicks. That's how
maybe that's why Jeremy didn't like him.
Yeah, Jeremy was like, he's making fun of me. Yeah, I do think they have a double wide trailer, so a lot of like PTSD for Jeremy.
No, I can't wait.
Tobias for $10. I know a lot of you don't care, but I'm really proud of the amount of money Anthrocon raised in charity this year. Over $89,000 for nose-to-tail cat rescue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in just 4 days. Don't really know too much about it, but hey, rescue those cats.
Yeah, man, good on them.
Superman saves a squirrel in the movie.
Oh, no.
Godzilla's greaser for 10. On the subject of superheroes, happy Ultraman Day, the Japanese one of the longest-running TV franchises, and the inspiration to Kamen Rider, which inspired Power Rangers. I didn't know that. Happy Ultraman Day. Ultraman is also in this movie. And the twist for Ultraman is the most predictable thing, and you can tell from the first fucking 15 minutes of the movie.
Oh, no.
Realist version for $4.99. Seeing and hearing the reviews and spoilers, I think I'd have more fun listening to Kamala Harris laugh for 2 hours than watching this.
Oh, no.
I don't think that's the case. I don't know if I'd go that far. But Hero of Canton for 2. Has anyone reported Tobias to ASPCA? I don't know what ASPCA is. I assume some animal protection thing, but Tobias, one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones.
Phil McCracken, which is a better movie, Man of Steel or Superman's James Gunn? I obviously think Man of Steel is a better movie, but I liked Man of Steel before James Gunn's Superman. So that shouldn't be surprising that that's how I feel about it. Jeremy saying that Man of Steel is a better movie was shocking to me, considering the things he said about that movie. John Ease, why does Jay talk like he's black?
I do? I didn't know that. What do I say? That sounds like I'm black.
I don't know if it's the...
I don't live in Haiti.
I don't think it's your vocabulary or your pronunciation necessarily. I think that it is... you do have somewhat of a lazy way of speaking. I don't know if that's what he's referring to. Sometimes,
maybe.
Maybe something like that. I don't know if that's just talking black, but I don't know exactly what he's getting at. Whereas I am like, I sound like I'm fucking amped up on some fucking ADD meds or something, basically every time I speak. Torgo the White for 2. PSA, no more shoe removal at TSA sometime soon. That is great news. Very excited about that.
You mean I paid all that money for TSA pre and now I don't need it anymore?
Yeah, I know, right?
The freak.
It is still way more convenient, though.
That's
I do the clear thing.
I do too, but you want to know something? Outside of Orlando, you never really need it. At least in my experience. I have clear as well.
It just depends where you're at, like for sure.
The smaller airports, like they got one clear booth, and it's like, I don't need that. I have TSA pre. I could just walk through.
Yeah, it 100% does like depend on where you're at.
Got it.
Udite for 5. Could that guy have left the drone in a parking lot, then flown it from the inside after he got in? Maybe. The Under Armour Gamer for 5. My Blockbuster had a Game Crazy built into it, and I miss it. Game Crazy was so much better than GameStop.
So the Blockbuster near, when I was in Fort Lauderdale, the Blockbuster that was near there, they had this cool little section where you could actually request to watch a film in the store, and they had all these couches and stuff set up. So you could actually go there and be like, hey, I'd like to watch, and you didn't have to pay to rent it. And they would put it on if nobody was using that function. But it'd be in the middle of the store. And if there was no one there, you could go there and then be like, hey, I'd like to watch this film. And
Let's
if
get the fuck out of here, you dumb kids.
If they were
out of my
okay with
store.
it, you could sit there and watch it.
Pay for it, you fuck. No wonder they went bankrupt. They're letting people just walk in and watch shit for free. That's why they aren't around anymore. Congratulations to Jay's local Blockbuster. They ruined it.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida, man. Everything is chill in Florida.
Anthony Landolfini for 5. Haven't heard much about Ghost of Tsushima. When do you think they're going to start doing that movie, like script writing production? No idea. I love that video game.
Video game is awesome.
I have no idea when to expect anything on the movie front for it. Ministry of Wrongthink. The Suez class stunt will backfire insanely. The class they're referring to is a hypothetical preborn class. That would mean preborn citizens have rights, aka kiss abortion goodbye libs. Aha, maybe. I don't know about it. Check out King's Court for some of the evaluation. Grizzly Nightmare. How do you both feel about bananas in cereal? I don't like fruit in my cereal.
I like it. Especially on Rice Krispies. It's the best. Chop those things up.
I think your cereal should stand the test of eating it by itself. If your cereal is not good enough to eat by itself, it can go fuck off. I like the idea of slicing up some bananas and slicing up strawberries and fuck that.
No, not all that. Just bananas only. I don't put anything else in there.
Yeah, no thanks. Stephen McBride, Jay speaks in Ebonics. Of course he sounds black.
Really? Ebonics?
M to M, leave it to China to make the best superhero movie of the year. Neza 2 should be getting an English dub release in theaters later this year. Go see it when you can. It's definitely my favorite movie of the year. Yeah, I think like A24 is doing like an English dub of it, I believe. I think I read something about that. So yeah, I ain't going to go watch that shit in Chinese. The Singing Tigs. This is for Steel and Drone, Tyrone. Damn it, Ryan. Hail. Thanks. Adam Twomley for 199. Film is mid and Fortnite tie has been wank. Make sure something went wrong with the fucking locals. Goddamn bullshit.
Never fails. Never fails.
Here's the mail. It never fails. And of course, I'm logged into like mine for some reason. All right. Talk for a little while, Jay, while I pull this up to make sure we didn't miss
Ryan's
anything.
going to like work on locals while I'm trying to figure out not to talk Ubonics. I don't even know how that even happened, but I am going to see Superman later today at the 2:00 show. So, should be fun. We'll see. I got the early bird special with my ticket. I wasn't going to pay premium prices. So there you go.
Where are you seeing at?
Universal Studios. I'm going to maybe if there's something out there for park hopping, I can get a 2-for-1. So
that'd be cool. Hopefully that works. All right, let's pull up this fucking Ironheart thing. I did fix locals, so I can see it now. Even though it's still kind of fucked up. We got to talk about Ironheart, Jay.
All right.
Any excuse to put Black Robert Downey Jr. in the thumbnail, I'll put that on my video that I made about it on my channel. I thought it was pretty good. But we got to talk about Ironheart. Ironheart is over. It's been out for 2 weeks now at this point. They dumped almost the entire thing in 1 week. Tuesday, 3 episodes. The next Tuesday, the final 3 episodes to just get it out there and over with. Probably because they knew it was going to be a complete and total disaster. And that's exactly what Ironheart was. It was a nightmare for them. People hated it. And to be quite honest, there's really very little interest in the show in general. They knew this. It got delayed years and years. It was filmed years ago. They finally just put it all out there. Well, one man is not going to stop trying to save this show because he's contractually obligated to do so. And that is Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., who we saw do the PR appearance on Good Morning America on ABC, which is owned by Disney, to help promote Ironheart, to read a scripted statement. And then again, another phone call that just happened to be recorded between him and Dominique Thorne, the actress who plays Riri Williams. For the third time, we've got another Robert Downey Jr. dedicated video to push the Ironheart series. And this is a hint of like how it starts off, so you can watch this, and we'll play a couple little snippets of it.
Dominique Thorne, I have seen all of the first 3 episodes of Ironheart. I love it. We have so much to discuss. How did this
so exciting, right, Jay?
Yeah.
And throughout it, there are constant little references where they're being like, this is just like Tony Stark. This really reminded me of Tony Stark. This really reminded me of me. That's what this entire fucking thing is.
episode, and you're in the HUD.
Vital signs indicate corporeal overload.
You're doing so much tech work. You're soldering. You're doing all the stuff. And again, it was just reminding me of all of those things that I had to do for the first.
Oh my gosh.
So you always have suits and pieces of practical suits around you.
So much tech work and soldering.
Spot welding lesson, or the person
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Oh my God, I gotta tell you, it took me probably like a solid 20 minutes to get that first tape.
Or did you hear that notification? There was
Yeah.
100% like a notification that they recorded when they were doing it that ended up in there. That's
Sure, it
funny.
wasn't like the fire detector beep. Sorry.
Oh, Jay. It was not. It was not.
In the HUD down.
Trevor, stabilize the cabin pressure. I need some more air.
Okay, Ray.
I literally
Oh, yeah. By the way, the gay pencil AI that she starts with, its name is Trevor. So,
Stabilize the cabin pressure. I need some more air.
Okay, Ray.
I literally could not believe that I was doing this. I felt that to me was probably the moment of like, whoa, this is real. Like this is Iron Man. This is Tony Stark. This is the HUD. This is insane. And
The HUD. This is the HUD.
the heads up display. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is the tone of the entire interview. And the wildest part about this, that they have rolled out, look, Robert Downey Jr. is making that $100 million. It's not just to act in the movie, it's to promote everything.
Yeah.
It's to be the hype man. He has been working overtime in comparison to what you would normally expect to try to push this thing, to try to connect it in people's minds to Iron Man and to Tony Stark. It did not work, and it is not working. We talked about it. It completely missed the charts, the Luminate streaming charts, the first week. Well, it made the charts the second week after having almost 300 minutes of available watch time. And there's a reason that Disney has not yet made any announcements about viewership for this, because it's really fucking bad.
Is there any viewership other than the people that talk about it on the internet?
So look, to put this in perspective, we finally have what the previous minutes watched were from the first couple days of release. 222 million minutes watched. Now, the reason that that's important and context is important is because they released 142 minutes of total available watch time for this show in the first 3 episodes. If you equate that to views, that means about 1.5 million people watched the show in the first 3 days. Now, compare that to Daredevil Born Again, 7.5 million views in the first 5 days. Now, 5 days versus 3 days, those are not promising numbers. But let's do them a favor. Let's take, once they made all 6 available, which is 289 minutes watched, minutes possible to watch for this show, nearly 300. And let's do them a favor. Let's add the first couple days to the next 7 days. Let's round up for them. 567, 222. Let's say 800 million even. Do them a favor and round up. You're still talking about, with all episodes available in the first 10 days, something that is watched, like the total views, it's less than 3 million. Compared to Daredevil Born Again, 7.5 million in the first 5 days. And that was a ratings nightmare for them. This is
Wow.
where we're at with Ironheart. This is a reason they're working Robert Downey Jr. overtime to push this shit. And the sad thing is, it just completely and totally failed.
I think it's funny that, you know, this is just a phone in, right? He's just got to phone it in. They're like, hey, you signed a big contract. We need you to do a couple press things. We need you to push this show, all this stuff. No problem. We'll get you a nice setup. All good. For some reason, they've never, I don't think they put these two in the same room, have they? To talk about it. So
I don't know. And, you know,
I don't
will
think
say
they have.
Dominique Thorne, throughout the entire PR tour and stuff like that, she seems like a very nice girl. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We haven't seen a lot of the cope that we see from some of these things failing. We haven't seen the blaming fans or attack. We haven't really seen that from anybody involved with the show as of yet. And hopefully we won't see that. And maybe people will have learned their lessons. But it doesn't matter how likable you might find her in interviews or whatever. The character sucks. The character is not likable. And everyone hates the fucking character. The show sucks.
Yeah, so credit where credit is due. She's not out there blaming racist fans or the government or anything else. It does look like she's having fun for what it's worth. So
yeah,
there's that.
That could always change, but
it could.
Just based on what we've seen, you know, this is what we've seen. So, but the ratings, this is the reason why Disney's been fucking silent about this. No Agatha, 9 million views in the first 7 days. Daredevil Born Again, Acolyte, Ahsoka, none of this shit. They are silent about it because of how bad it is.
If they were smart, they're probably like, we shouldn't even bother. Robert, we shouldn't bother Robert Downey Jr. because it's just going to bring attention to how bad the show really is. Let's just drop it and move on. Let's move on to bigger and better things. Fantastic Four, everybody. Almost here.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. And that's it for a good while.
Well, what are you talking about, Jay? Wonder Man is releasing in December.
Oh, how could I forget? Sorry about that.
How could you forget about Wonder Man?
No idea.
Come on.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Wonder Man. Grotto Rabbit says Banana Nazi. Banana Nazi, is that what you're trying to tell me? Banana Nazi. Banana Nazi. Banana Nazi. Film is mid and Fortnite tie-in has been wank. Womley. Can't say I played that one.
Yeah, they added the dog, like you could summon crypto to help you defeat an enemy and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He's not that good though.
Robert Brownie Jr. or Robert Downey Jr.? Depends on the movie, I suppose. Depends on the movie. Funny Bunny Fortnite. Every Superman movie has something weird about it. Time travel, a dog, Richard Pryor. It's always something. Thanks.
Except Man of Steel, huh? Maybe he killed somebody at the end. That was the funny part.
You know, considering we have had, despite the fact that Superman has killed Zod before, even on screen, there was a lot of discussion about that scene specifically. There still is a lot of discussion 12 years later.
Yep.
It's funny. When you see the movie, I find it strange that we're not having those same kind of conversations about something that happens near the end of this movie. That's all I'll say without going into spoilers. Without any like emotional meaning, without any discussion of what happened, without any like impact on anyone. Don't know. What makes Donner stand out the most? It's the one that is less personal. He knew who Superman was to everyone and put that on screen. And here we are accepting trash. This is just Nova. I don't know who's we and who's accepting it, but thank you. Ministry of Wrongthink. All Grok wanted to do was AI art, but you guys had to go and settle for the repeat.
Yeah, it's had a week.
Yeah, Grok's been through some changes.
Yeah.
Derek PG Beller on Rumble. Jay's always had a little swag in his speech. Nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what it is. A little swag.
Just a little bit.
But Jay, I think we're all caught up.
Whew, look at that. Thursday in the books. And I found out I talk black. You never know what you're going to learn on this show, I'll tell you.
You're going to be really self-conscious about that from now on.
I'll probably forget about it in an hour.
Probably. Got anything going on today other than watching Superman?
No, just videos. And I'm going to do a Superman live stream on one of my channels.
Wow.
With Mo Zamboni. Yeah. I'm actually going to talk about it. So we'll see what happens.
The Smart Review says you missed my super chat on Rumble.
Ha ha ha.
The only the only thing I see on Rumble is Derek PG Beller, the Smart Review. I don't know if it got sent early and maybe it got cut off or something.
Sorry about that.
I don't know. I don't see anything else. I don't see anything else, the Smart Review. But I'm sorry. Yort for £2 with Man of Steel being made for emo kids. Who's this for? Fucking like
Gen
really,
Z?
Yeah, really young kids. Not like really young kids, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, probably, yeah. Younger. Between the jokes and the oh, Eric K says he has it. Why can't I see it?
I don't know.
Maybe Eric sent it to me on Twitter. Let me check. I don't know if it got cut
I
off
did
or
say
something.
like Chris Gore said it was like a movie made for Gen Z. I think that's what he said. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was someone else. So
it feels like you could watch it on TikTok because it's like so chaotic and so fast paced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what he was shooting for.
Somebody said I ignored it because you spelled Reeve wrong. Maybe I did. Where the fuck is it? I don't see it anywhere.
Just type it.
Hold on. Eric K sent me a photo. D Smart for $1 says Superman looks like shit. I hated everything in the marketing. Everything is cringe. There's an insult to Reeves. I assume you meant to put an apostrophe between the E and the S. There's an insult to Reeves possessive Superman. The spoilers are insane. Can't wait to bash the film in my review. All right. Well, I got you now. Thank you, Eric K, for sending me that. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. I don't see it anywhere, which is kind of gay. But what are you going to do?
Just kind of.
The exaggerated swagger of a black teen, says Mad Frog. Yeah, that's what Jay's got. And then just Nova Fry. Superman was like TikTok segments edited together. Yes, it's like
there you go.
Going through TikTok. Genuinely, it's how it feels sometimes. At least definitely the first half. But all right.
That's it.
That is it. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
We can't wait. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.